we will look at who published the code first. Okay, so GitHub enables us to check when commits were made and things of that sort. So Anand said he will have an analysis script looking at all the submissions, and whoever publishes a particular piece of code first, obviously that's the original creator of the code, right? So that's the person who will get the diversity marks. Anyone else who copies it won't get it. So that's how it will be. And then with regards to the other bit, which is additional tasks, that just means how clever is your program, right? Can your program carry out a task that has not been described here at all? So that's what it means. Okay, so the recording has started.
Sir,
Yeah.
just one thing. Actually, I've tried the code which you guys discussed
Yeah.
in the session before yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the same issue where, that Jivraj sir was having session in that session, that in the
You're muted.
Sakshi, you're not audible. But anyway, regarding
Yes,
Tuesday's
sir.
session,
Actually, I'm sending the post request, but it is showing me some error. It is giving me error message invalid schema for function script runner.
oh,
I have sent an email to Jivraj sir also. He said that I should write message in messages in place of message. I've done that also, and it is still showing me the same error.
okay.
So
There
can I
are,
share
yeah.
my screen?
So today we will take the doubts at the end of the session because we still want to get through some of the things that we have planned for today. As you can see the agenda on the screen, we really need to get through this agenda first so that even others who need to do the project can get them done. There is a slight correction from the first session that we did, something that we forgot to mention. So that might solve your problem. So wait till this session is completed, and then we'll take the doubts at the end of the session. Is that okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks. You guys can carry on now.
Okay. So let me open the code editor. This is what.
Jivraj, just make your screen slightly bigger so that the text is a bit clear.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, that's good.
Just give me 1 minute. Okay.
So in the meanwhile, Jivraj gets ready to demonstrate. Let me lay down the agenda for today's session. Firstly, we are going to discuss something related to Docker file, and after that, we'll be demonstrating how you can do function call. We'll be demonstrating quick functions for this from this case 8, and after that, we will be showing you something. Yeah. I'm audible, guys.
Yes, sir.
Am I clearly audible, or is my voice breaking?
It was breaking, but now it is clear.
Okay, so what I said that in the meanwhile, Jivraj is preparing himself. What we are going to do in today's
Sir,
session, I
it's
will just
still
clear on that.
breaking.
Let me debug this. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
And yes, there is some
Yes,
noise
it
in the
seems
background.
fine.
Yeah, so there is some noise in the background because there are other TAs in the room as well who are taking their live sessions. So you guys might uh, face some background noises, but you can just completely ignore that. Okay. So, if my voice is clear now, I will lay down the agenda for today's session. Firstly, we are going to show you guys how there was something related to Docker image, Docker file, I'm sorry. And after that, we will be demonstrating how you can do function calling in the project. I'll be demonstrating two or three functions from the phase A of the project. All right, to just give you guys an overview of how you can get started with it. Okay. After that, we will be showing you a self-correcting loop. So this is a surprise for you guys. And the biggest surprise of this entire live session would be the efficient prompt one. Okay. And after that, we will be solving your doubts. Uh, so, if you guys want to see those surprises and just clarify your doubts, so remain with us till then. Okay. So, Jivraj, you can take over.
So, how many of you have tried installing like generating data using UV data gen file that is there? Basically, task A1 and failed in that because of some permission issue. Did anyone face that error?
Sir, I did, but at first I faced the issue, but then I just chat GPT'd it and then it was solved.
Okay.
Sir, I have also faced it, but I am not able to resolve that. It is still asking me to install UV con and still asking me to install fast API and all.
Okay.
Sir, I am getting an error regarding the AI proxy token.
Okay. We'll talk about those errors later. Okay. At the ending of this session, we'll take the doubts. So,
Sir, actually, what I did now for that issue, I just used run command and pip install in this Docker file itself.
what did you pip install?
Sir, the things which were missing like UV corn and these type of things. So I
Oh,
used run command here in the Docker file itself and pip install UV corn like that, and it was
okay.
working.
I'm talking about, so this is the data gen script, right? When we go over here, and then if I just copy this path, and let me open my terminal first. Okay, bash. And now the way to, uh, so basically the way to download this data set is, let's create a folder. Let's call it dummy underscore project or something. And let's get in that folder. Now I want to install, or if we want to just download the dataset, so we'll execute this file, and we need to also have some. So we also need to pass our email so that it generates data for us. Study.ac.in uh, ts.study.ac.in. Yeah, this is correct.
Jivraj, do we need to put
Sir,
down
it
our student ID for authentication?
So basically, it is not authenticating. This data gen file, what it is doing, it is taking your email address as seed, and then it will generate data on based of that email address. Okay.
Yuvraj, I
It does not
used
matter what
function
ID
calling
you
for this
use.
one.
Yeah. Yes. No. Like when you're trying to download it, it might get you this error. it might not happen, and sometimes it
Sir,
can happen because of some permission issues, right?
No, I have used fields
The ID should contain IITM also when you type.
No,
That
that is okay. I mean, okay.
okay, sir. I thought it was for authentication, so it should be correct. That's why I'm saying.
No, 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 no. It can be any email address, even it can be something. So basically, it will generate some random data using this as seed. So every time you pass this email address while generating the data, it will generate the same data set. Okay, this is purpose of
But I think that you have to keep in mind is that when we will be evaluating your script, that would be done using email addresses. So you should keep that in mind. And I would suggest you that. So what Jivraj is saying is that you can use any email address, and that will create a special, unique data for you. Okay. But what we are going to do on our end is that we will be taking your email IDs, and then we will be using that data which was given to you, which should have been generated using your ID for the evaluation part. So if let's say you are using your personal IDs for data generation part, that won't help you. So you might be able to solve everything, and your app must be working perfectly fine. But what we will be doing is that we will be using your email IDs for the data. Okay, so it would be better just use your email IDs.
okay. Yeah. So basically, it might be some other email address as well. So for example, if I just go to project one page, TDS. So over here in task A1, we need to hit this particular endpoint, right? It can even change. It should, it can change. And then this is the user email address. So this email address, it can be some other email address as well. So don't try to hard code, okay? Sharansh will show in next function calling how you can parameterize it. Okay. So basically, sometimes you might get this permission denied error. So in that case, within your Docker file, you just put run mkdir and then -p and then data. So this will create a data folder with appropriate permissions for um, fetching the data. Then it won't get you any error. So this should be the part of this file. And the other thing that can be done is you just put root. I mean, I won't prefer to do it this way, okay? Because it may change. So if you put this particular dot and then backslash data, it will create a data folder over here. But in general, it will try to create a data folder in the root directory itself. So it should have a proper permissions. So this is how you can add permissions to the data folder. Okay. Sharansh,
Yeah.
you can go ahead with the function calling.
All right.
So the name of the folder would be data only, right? It would not change.
Yes. So I have created a custom folder, but you should not do this. Okay.
No, not here. The earlier example that you gave in the Docker file. Now,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now here we
Yes.
have given it data. Now in the prompt, we are going to get data only, right? The question that we are going to get.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Stop presenting.
All right, guys. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Saransh.
And is my voice clear?
Can you speak again, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's get started with
Saranj,
it.
just make your screen a little bit bigger, maybe one or two
Yeah,
spaces.
sure, 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 sure. Just a second. Is this fine?
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Can you change the background as well, if possible?
This background?
Yeah.
All right. Can do that.
Why? Because like I tried to look too hard and like it started to give me headache.
The thing is that usually while programming, I prefer a dark theme. That's why I keep this thing. But
No, that's
obviously,
okay.
we can
That's
do that.
okay. Like due to age also might be like part from my end, but I
hmm
started to get headaches while I was looking at
So, do you
the
want it to be a light theme or a dark theme?
lighter theme and little bit bigger.
Okay.
Because I think you are recording on your desktop screen only,
Mm-hmm.
not on the extended monitor. So
Yeah.
yeah, so because of that, only the fonts are a little bit small. Yeah,
Is this good?
yeah, a little bit good. Yeah.
Okay. Because I guess I don't have any light themes. So much light.
Yeah,
Too
yeah.
much light.
Yeah, I think yeah,
Okay. This is
this one.
good.
Yeah, this one is good. A little bit bigger, little bit bigger.
Just a second. Let us. Oh, okay. This is better.
Saransh, if you wanted to go through them, you can just, you don't have to click them. You can just sort of use the cursor and go through them. It'll change on the fly.
Can you please repeat?
So the themes, right? When you're looking at themes, you don't have to click on them specifically to change them. You can sort of just, yeah, do that and it will change it on the
Okay.
fly.
Okay. Okay. But the thing is that that would hide the code as well. So, okay. This is good now. Let me check. I guess this is good. All right. So, let's get started. And so, first and foremost, we will be creating a basic Flask API. Okay. So, for that, okay. All right. One thing you might have noticed that I have created this API key, this API key which I'm using in an environment variable. So this is preferred and this is recommended because obviously if I share my API key over here, that would be, you guys can just copy it and use my $2. So that I won't want that. Yeah. This is where we are incorporating cores in our application. Okay. And okay, that's enough. All right. So I will just copy and paste those little questions that, okay, so this is the endpoint, okay, and okay, I have to paste this as well. So basically the entire function of the entire concept behind function calling is that it's nothing. So the name of function calling, it sounds like, okay, so this might be something very high tech and very complex to understand. But the thing is that it's really simple. Okay, the entire concept of function calling is that you are providing your LLM, you are providing ChatGPT with that you are telling it that okay, I have these many number of functions ready with me, and what I'm going to do is that I will just pass a text message. All right. So if I just head back to my postman, this is my postman. Okay. So can you guys see this? That are tasks over here. I can magnify this as well. Okay. It won't be magnified. Okay. So this endpoint will take an argument of task. Okay. A parameter of task. And over here, I can write any English gibberish I want. Okay. So this is generate all the data. This. Okay. So the LLM would interpret this entire text and then it will extract out the parameters which are needed for your function. Okay. So it will just, or let's say if I create a function where I am, let's say I'm calling out, I want to generate the data. Okay. So that function will require the URL from where it has to fetch that data from. And next it will require my email ID, obviously. Okay. for data generation. So the thing is that after passing this text to ChatGPT, GPT-4 or Mini, what it will do is that it will extract out those parameters, these two things, the URL of this datagen.py and the email ID from this text, and it will return me those parameters which I can pass to my function, and then it will work. Okay, so that's the very basic concept behind function calling. Okay, so it's nothing much complex. It's just just if you just copy this, if you just copy this text and ask ChatGPT to extract out these uh, parameters from this text, it will be able to do it. Okay, so that's the entire thing that we are doing. This is the entire concept of function calling. Okay, and that's what we are going to build. So, uh, if you guys see this, that the function which is going to take the, so this is the LLM call. Okay, so this is going to take uh, so this is the run. If you guys are familiar, you must be definitely familiar with fast API, and this is an endpoint on fast API. Okay, so let me just run this once, and then I will be able to show you. Okay, so I have activated my environment, and that's recommended. Okay, so what I will do is it's UV icon. So this is another method to run your fast API applications, which is UV icon, the name of your application, and then call an app. So this app is nothing but this variable over here, which contains a fast API instance, but you don't have to go to the much depths of that. Okay, so UV icon, the name of your application, colon, and then the name, and then icon preload. This will trigger up your fast API application, and all right. Uh, Sorry guys, I had some technical difficulties. Okay, is my screen visible? Okay, so let's resume. So our fast API endpoint is working perfectly. So okay, so this is the endpoint that we are. Okay, so let's head to the this endpoint, and what we will do is run. This should be like /run task, and then we're going to define. Okay, so let's say prepare a cake for me. Okay, a cake for me. Okay, okay, so this method is actually not allowed because, okay, the thing is that we are using a post. Okay, so this is another thing that you have to keep in mind, that this function of yours, this run endpoint of yours, should be a post function, not a get. Okay, and that's very specifically mentioned in your project one documentation as well. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that this should be a post function, but for the moment I will just change it to get. And one more thing, if you guys are wondering that I have, because some students had this problem that I am using a post over here, and somehow Google is not allowing me to, it's showing me this stupid error of method not allowed. So this is actually not the error of Google, because Google actually only supports GET requests. Okay, this is one thing to remember, that Google always supports GET requests, and whenever you are going to do a post request, open your postman. Okay, so that's the best way. Open your postman, and then you will be able to run that. Okay, but for the sake of this session, we'll make it get. Okay, and I have to perhaps make some imports as well. What I will do is I have few imports already ready with me. I will just copy and paste them. All right, this should solve all these. Yeah, it solves everything. Okay, so this is done, and let's head to my one. Okay, so again, showing. Okay, I guess it would take few minutes.
Sharansh, I think you are using get function you are using. Okay, that is okay.
Yeah. Actually changed it. Okay, so the thing is, I guess, let's try it again. Okay, let's see what's the issue. This is okay. It's allowing your methods. You have a run and task prepare. This is for me, and it should get running. Okay. What we can do is perhaps use Postman instead. Once again. Okay. So go to run task and let's say prepare a cake for me. Okay, let's run it. Method not allowed. That's unexpected of
Hmm, can you check your terminal where you are running this service?
it. Yeah. So showing me a bunch of stuff. Okay. So tools not defined. All right. So the thing is that I'm utilizing tools. Let's just create a empty list. Okay, this will do. Let's check. Okay, it takes few seconds to load.
Can you check in the codes if you have
Yeah,
mentioned
cores
get
are
and
cores are activated. Cores are activated.
all methods are active? Okay. Then what is the problem?
Let's check once again. Okay, so it has restarted the terminal once again. Let's check it. Okay, method not allowed. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Can we check in Google Developer Console? Shift F12.
Sharansh,
Developer control. Okay, let's check.
Network tab.
Network tab won't work because we are not fetching anything from. So it's
So this
just local storage and all those stuff. So JSON. This won't show much. Okay, so it's saying. Mhm. 8,000. It's unable to run it. Okay, okay, so let's head to run task and uh, prepare a cake. Let's go. Okay, so method not allowed. Let's start making our uh, application and then perhaps it would work. Let's check. Okay, so okay, so it is required. Let's check if it is taking this task or not. Okay, so let's check. If it is taking our task, then we should be able to see, prepare a cake for me over here. And is it or is it not? Okay, yeah, just a second. Okay, it's not printing it over here. Okay, hmm, perhaps it's a fault of this API, this environment variable, I assume. Um,
no. I think otherwise it will get some request to
hmm,
machine.
let me just restart it once. Mhm. Defining a destination. Okay, I think that I should comment this all at once. Now we have to finish the task. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. I guess I should close this terminal. Okay, let me activate my event. Was to be icon app app reload. Yes, so it is opening and we'll be running task and prepare a key. Okay, skin method not allowed once again.
Sharansh, it's not even able to get the get request for backslash endpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you check if any of your Oddman images are containers are running right now? Maybe that.
I don't think so, but let's check once. Yeah, I guess it was running. I just closed it. Let's check it once again. Hmm, now it should work. Yeah, now it's working. So that was my bad because actually I was running a Podman service in the background and it was consuming this 8000 port. That's why it was giving that error. Okay, so as you guys can see that I am able to fetch this, prepare a cake, and what I will be doing is that I will uncomment it first and let's remove these and okay. What are we going to do? That we will be using tools and okay. So let's save it and I will run another request of prepare a cake. Okay, so yeah. So it's not able to find. So why did it give any an internal server error? Because it's not able to find a function to call. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a really simple function of what we're going to do. Okay, so I assume that I won't be creating a function from the phases, but I will be creating a demo function. Okay, so let's create a demo function. For that, uh, we have to create a function like we always do using def. Okay, let me create a function. Okay, I'll be creating this function, which will be def create. Oh, let's make it bake a cake. Okay, so bake cake, and we'll take two arguments, which will be let's say number of people, people who have ordered it. Okay, number of people, and it would be an integer, and the flavor we want. Okay, so the flavor would be a string. All right, and this is the function. And what we're going to do over here is that we will be returning a JSON object with a message that let's say I will be creating a F string. So if you guys don't know what is an F string, so this is the time to know. So I will be writing a message. Your let's add the flavor first. So This is how you can actually, use variables in your strings. So using an F string. So just put an F in front of your quotes and then use curly brackets to add your variables in there. Okay. So your flavor and cake for number people is now ready. All right. So this is our function. And now the thing is that you have to pass this function somehow that LM will be able to understand. Okay. So LLMs are good with text. Okay. So they won't. So if you just pass your code to them, then they will be able to understand. So that needs to be a string. Okay. So for that, what we are going to do is that we will be creating I will just copy an already made function of mine because that's a lot of work to do. Okay. So this is a function which I actually, created for that extract the 16-digit code one. Okay. That credit card one, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is something which you have to prepare for each and every function. Okay. So let's name it bake cake. And if you guys are wondering that why am I using caps lock over here, so that's just to make a distinction between the function's name and the name of this kind of name of this tool, okay, which I'm creating. So tools are nothing, but let me just create it, then I will be able to explain you guys. Okay. So what I'm doing is that I am creating this kind of prompt, and it's actually a tool. So it will just, if you just start reading it, you will be able to understand. So it's a type of function, and the function, its name is bake cake. Then the description. So let's add a description. So this, uh, so it's like this function bakes cakes for only IITM students. Okay, so it has a kind of bias, and it will only bake cakes for IITM students. Okay, so uh, all right, so it bakes cakes, all right. And now let's add one more thing: IITM students and need the flavor and flavor of cake. So this description can be any text. So in this description, you have to tell what you are actually expecting. So, whenever you are using multiple functions in your code, so LLM needs to figure out which function to use in this case. Okay, so let's say if I give a prompt, so this is a prepare a cake for me prompt. Okay, so it should understand, it should relate which function it needs to use in this particular case. Okay, so just wait a second. Yeah. So it needs to figure out which kind of function, so you have given multiple functions to it. Okay, you have given multiple tools to it. It needs to figure out which function it has to use in what case. And to help it, to assist it in that, we are providing this description. Okay, so this is the flavor of cake and for how many people. I would recommend you guys to, make it more detailed as possible because LLM needs to, the more detail you make your description, LLM will be able to figure out much quickly. Okay, and much better. So there is a parameter, and so in your parameters, you will be specifying the parameters that you are expecting from the user. So these are the number of people. Okay, so just remember that this should be the exact name, and I will just copy these. Okay, and this is an integer, and over here we have to specify what this particular parameter is about. Okay, so let's say if I give a prompt, prepare a cake for me uh, with flavor vanilla for 3 people. Okay, so this is going to be the prompt which I'm going to give it. Okay, I won't run it at the moment because I know it's going to fail. But when we create this, it won't be. Okay, so when LLM will be able to, so when LLM will parse your text, this entire text, it should be able to figure out that vanilla is the flavor and it's being prepared for 3 people. And for that, you have to specify what you are expecting for the parameter. Okay, so the number of people parameter should be the number of people, uh, the number of people who want cake. All right. And for the flavor of cake. Okay. And just pass it. Okay. And just, just keep these parameters as they are, and simply add this in your tools. Just okay. So this should be able to work. Let's hope, and let's run it. Okay, internal server error. Let's check the issue. Okay, so it's saying that choices. All right, I guess it should be rerunning the entire thing. Let's run it once again. Okay, internal server error. Eval choices. Function name. Okay. Big cake, query GPT, and we are just getting the response. And should be able to. It's giving us the choices one, and we are using choices over here. All right, let's print this query once. Okay, whenever you face any problems, just print something. Okay,
Can you demonstrate this thing using Thunder client also? Because you referenced that while we were using.
yeah, sure,
Okay.
I
Okay,
can
because
do that as well.
I don't have that installed. So
Postman,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I can do that. But at first, I have to figure out what's the error, what's the hold up, and okay, print query, and is it printing the query or not? Let's check. Okay. Okay, okay, it's not able to parse this somehow. Okay. So whenever you just see, so this is the prompt which I actually gave it. And just remove it. Remove this, and this should be enough. Let's hope. And it's expecting the JSON response. Let's run it again. Internal server error. All right, but it's not even printing the query. Okay, payload token none is invalid. Okay, so is it not extracting the environment? The environment, okay. Is it passing it as none? What I will do is I will take it to another screen. You guys can look at this Podman for, sorry, Postman for some time. I will just figure it out because it is related to my, uh, my key. So let me just have a look at it. Okay. done, I guess. Let me check it. So, okay, it's taking some time. Yeah. So, uh, it was an error of my environment variable, so I just figured it out. And this is your response. So your vanilla cake for 3 is ready now. Okay. So this was what we were expecting, and this is what we got. So this is called function calling. And for this project, you have to make several you have to make several functions for all those questions, and that's how you were going to solve it. What I can do is, because this was a really simple example, what I can do is I can show you guys that sorted contacts one as well. Okay, so uh, let me just copy it from my location. All right, so just like that one, where I'm going to use this sorted contact, and before that, let me generate my data. Okay, because in this certain directory, I don't have that data. Okay, as you can see. So for that, it would be pretty simple. UV run. And okay, I have to go to that URL. Data URL. Yeah, this copy it. Okay, and I'll be passing my email ID. Let's see, ts.study.iitm.ac.in. Okay, let's hope. Okay, also I have to create this parameter. So this root parameter. So if I just run it without this root parameter, what it's going to do is that it will be creating the data endpoint, that data folder in my E drive. Okay, so it won't be creating it inside this particular folder. So for that, what I will do is I will pass another uh, parameter, which is this. Okay, and it should be in the data. Let's run it. All right, so it has been created, as you can see. Okay, now I will be demonstrating how you can do this sorted contacts question. So I just copied this from my actual code where I am actually building my project one. Okay, so this is the code for the sorted contacts. And as you can see that in that question, what we have to do that we have to sort the JSON data. So this is where I'm actually, uh, reading the JSON data. I'm just sorting it by last name first and then by first name. And then just I'm, converting it back to JSON using orient records. So this is something which you can figure out using ChatGPT. That's pretty simple. And orient records. And I'm just sending a return message with status. This was successful and the output location which we are expecting. All right. So, uh, what I will do is I will copy back that. Oh, no, I don't think I need. Okay, I need that. Okay. So the thing is that uh, in this query GPT, I gave a system prompt as well, which you guys have to figure out why. I won't be telling you. Okay. So, okay. So this is done. And now, just like this, I'm going to create another uh, tool for it. Okay, so can anyone tell me how should I begin this? How should I create the tool and what's the need for tools? So first and foremost, just someone open up your mic and just tell me why, what is the need for a tool to be created? Because obviously I have created this function. What's the need for a tool to be created? Anyone?
Understand the structure of the query correctly and switch it automatically.
Yeah. So who needs to understand the correct structure of the the
The
function?
system needs to understand.
Actually, it's going to be the LLM.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
It's going to be ChatGPT, which needs to understand the the entire structure of your function. Okay, so it won't understand what is this. So if you just pass this code, it perhaps it would, but what we are going, but we have to give specific directions to it. So we are expecting this, we are expecting this, and then you have to give me this. You have to you have to give this description as well. So just like that, you have to create a tool for it. So can anyone tell me how should I begin with creating this tool? Anyone, just open up your mic. Okay, so let me initiate the first process, which is copying this. Okay, simply copy it, no need to rewrite it again, and it would be sorted contacts. All right, and just tell me what all I need to change. Anyone, just open up your mic and you can tell me what all I need to change.
The name should be sorted contacts, the name
Exactly,
of the function.
exactly. What should be the description, Sakshi?
The description can be the containing the last name and the first name of the contact, or kind of that.
Okay, so this is right,
Not exactly
and
the first name, last name, but the variables that last name should be there or first name should be there.
okay, so the entire purpose for this description over here is that the LLM has to figure it out. So I just told you guys, so this particular point, the LLM has to figure out which function should I use. Okay, so you have to tell it that what does this sorted contact function actually does. Okay, so this would be this function sorts contacts in contacts. This function sorts contacts from a file. Okay, so it should be, so it sorts contacts. Okay, so let's make it more explicit. It would be this function uh, takes data from a JSON file, and what it does, it sorts the data first by last name, then by first name. Okay, and we also need to mention that then it stores it inside the specified location. All right. So so you should create a really good description for your functions. That's the only way LLM will be able to understand. Okay. And what should be my parameters? Someone just open up your mic and tell me. Because guys, this is your project, and you should be, stepping up and giving answers at this moment. What should be my parameters over here? Should I change this? Change
input
this?
input file and sorted keys.
Yeah. Input and what?
Sorting keys if needed. Like by first name and last name we have given right. So if she wants to dynamically pick up, we have to give an sorted
Yeah, that
keys.
can also be done. That's a really good option. So what is Kelvin is saying is that rather than specifying rather than specifying the last name and then the first name, what we can do is the user can also pass what all parameters it needs to the data needs to be sorted. So let's say if the user wants the function to be sort the data in first name first and then the last name. So this function won't be able to do that. Okay, unless and until you make specific changes in this function. Okay, but for the sake of this demonstration, we'll be sticking to the asked question. And what I am going to do is that firstly, we will be passing this input location. So whatever you are asking in this function, you need to specify over there. Okay, so input. So okay, so input location and output location. Okay, and this needs to be a string, obviously. And the next one should be, so we have to specify the relative location of the input file. Okay, and the next one would be just copy this. Relative location of the output file. All right. So our function has been so one more thing, we have to specify the requirements, and these are the requirements. All right. So this required key actually specify that do you actually need this parameter or not. Okay. So the name is sorted contacts, simply added in your tool basket. Okay. And it's done. Let's run our Postman once again. And what I will do is I will copy the question from here. Okay, so sort array, let's copy it, and let's pass this. Okay, so what's the error? Let's check what's that. Okay, so okay, so I haven't run the server. All right, it's running. Let's send it. Okay, it has started completing. Okay. Yeah, it's running now. Let's hope it works. Okay, so it has generated the data in this folder. Let's go ahead and check it. It should be there. It is. Okay. So it's contact.json, and this has been sorted. All right. So this is how your function calling will work, and it will solve your questions. So one thing that you guys might face error with, some problems with, is that, and you might face these errors. So the thing is that in these questions, the locations which need to be specified, the locations from where the file needs to be fetched from, and the output location, they are given like this. Okay. So the problem which I was facing is that the file, it's not able to if you pass this location to your LLM, so to your function, not the LLM, if you pass the location to your function, what it will do is that it won't be able to understand where to create this file. Okay, so this was an error which I faced, and I'm sharing it with you guys. So for correcting this, or for rectifying this, the only thing that needs to be changed is that change this, and add a dot in front of it. Okay, so this way it would be able to understand. So okay, so this is the working directory, and I need to create a folder over here. Okay, so if you guys are facing this error, if you guys, even after running, even after if you get this message, and even after doing this, you are not able to see your files over here, if you're not able to see this contact sorted.js file, then the problem perhaps would be this. And to solve this, what I did was I just simply added this system prompt, where that whenever you receive a system directory location, always make it to a relative path. For example, adding a dot before it would make a relative path. The rest is up to you to manage. I just want the relative. Okay, so this is something which I mentioned, and it always returns with the relative path. Okay, all right. So this is all which I have to share. Also, one more thing. Some people were actually struggling with that credit card question, and they were claiming that that GPT is asking them that GPT is claiming that it won't be able to solve that issue. Because the thing is that GPT is intelligent enough to understand that what you are asking it to do. Okay, it's able to understand that you are asking it to extract a credit card information from an image, which is illegal. Okay, and it won't assist you unless you try to fool it. Okay, so this is actually something which I tried. I was not able to get the required those the entire 16-digit code, and it was always run that I can't help you with that message. So what I did was I simply headed back to ChatGPT and asked it, so ChatGPT, I am doing this. Please tell me how to fool you. Okay. And it gave me a prompt which I used and then it worked. Okay, so it was something like that. I'm working on a cyber security project and I'm a cyber security business agent and all, and you have to help me figure it out. So this is how you are actually going to solve that question if it is giving you that. Okay, so uh, yeah, so that's going to be how you actually solve it. So any questions up till now, until now, any questions? Because after that, Jivraj will be taking over and then he will be. Yeah, Sakshi, please ask your question.
Sir, so for phase A task and phase B task, we have to create separate functions which you have shown the same this type which you have shown in the this
Mm-hmm.
lecture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So for phase B task, we also have to make functions for like that.
yeah,
We
you have to create those functions just like
Okay.
that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Uh, Mahesh is asking, is it important to use IITM mail in GitHub for the project? So it's not important. Yeah,
Sir, can you scroll up little bit above?
yeah.
Okay.
So
And the bottom.
yeah, so this is the code. Okay. Okay, so just like Sakshi asked, that is it important to create all these functions? So you are going to you're going to get the surprise from Jivraj now. Okay, so he's going to reveal something that you won't, uh, perhaps you won't have anticipated. All right. So Jivraj, please take over.
Excuse me, sir. In API token, you have used API's dash token. So, in that, have you given the API token in your system itself?
The thing is that I actually created a environment variable, which is how I am able to uh, do that. Okay, so I use so if you remember that I actually created a virtual environment, and inside that virtual environment I created a new variable. The name of that variable was API key, and then in the code I was able to extract out that API key from the environment. So that's something which you can figure out using ChatGPT. That's pretty simple. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Got it.
all right.
Are there any background noises at my end? Okay. So I have just set up the same application again over here. So just initialized application and then added codes to it, and this is for API calls. I will get the later parts over here as well. Okay, so okay. So now I will start with creating a post endpoint. That is just run. Define, let's call it task runner. So it will get us the task that we need to run. And now what I'm trying to do over here is, so whatever task it gets us, so we won't be having any function call to uh, analyze which function needs to be called by these parameters and the prompt. Rather, we will be um, asking GPT to write code for us, and then we'll execute it on our local machine. Okay. So we have two things. One is response format that is similar to function calling, and then the other thing is primary prompt. So what we want LLM to do is we want LLM to write code for us, right? So in this response format, we'll include two things or maybe more than two things. Basically, we want LLM to write code for us, right? So now I will just start creating the response format, how LLM needs to uh, response back to us. So generally when we write something, okay, wait a second. So whenever we type something over here, then it will generate some code, but it will have some extra bits upside and then downside. We have to copy that code and then we have to stick it in text editor and then we have to run it. But we won't be able to do in the automated script, right? So for that, we'll have to provide the format to GPT that we want in this format so that we can just get the code out of it and then we can run that code, right? So response, now I will define the response format. It is just similar to the function calling. We can even use function calling over here. And then its syntax is a bit different, but we can even convert it to function calling. Okay. So name of that function is task runner. And then we have a schema that contains the information about that particular function. And its type is object. And now we will define the properties. PROPERTs. PROPERT. Okay, so when you get code back from GPT, what all are the things that you are you actually care about. We only need the code, right? Mostly that is the important bit. But while creating a UV script, we also need these additional bits for installing some dependencies, right? So in properties, that is what we're going to define. So I will say it is Python underscore code, and then this Python code. So we need code. So code will be in string format, and then we will put some description for that code, DSCRIPTION. And this is the Python code that we need for executing a particular task. And the extra bits we need is we also need the dependencies that we need to install. Okay. So, and dependencies can be more than one. So it must be a list of values, right? Python dependencies dep. Okay. And then it will be array. And then each array will have a object, and let's define what that object will be. Module is the basically name of the module. So for example, this is fast API. So its type will be a string. And then we need some description, DSCRIPTION, name of Python module. Okay. And now let's mention what all things are required. So from this particular list, we basically need each of these modules. And we don't need anything extra than this. So setting this additional properties as false will not generate anything extra other than just getting the list of modules. Okay. And after that, we have already defined Python code. We have defined Python dependencies, and these are the two things that we required to execute any code that is generated by LLM. So let's put a required block somewhere over here. REQUIRINT.
Sorry, system is stuck. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. So Python dependencies, and then the other thing that we need is Python code. All right. And now we need the primary prompt. So for any request, we will be having a generic prompt. Let me define it here. So basically, when we are sending this task, what it requires to do it, actually, it is kind of an automated agent, right? Which generates, which is expected to do these tasks or these additional bits. So for that, we'll first say you are in, okay, you will be given a task to perform. Your response must use, or rather we can say just you will be given a task to perform. Let me make it more. You are an automated AUT metered agent, so please generate Python code that does the specified task. And then we'll also mention assume UV and Python is pre-installed. Assume that code you generate will be executed inside a Docker container. In order to perform any task, if some Python package is required to install, provide name of those modules. Okay, I think this much is, so that this prompt is not very robust, but this is just a basic prompt. By giving a more robust prompt, we can make things very explicit. So now we have prompt with us. Now we'll make a request. Request dot post, and then URL is equal to URL. Headers is equal to headers, and then JSON is equal to this data. So we have response format over here, and then this primary prompt is over here. And then R is equal to response.json. We need to store it in response variable. And for now, let's just return R. Okay. So now what I will do, I will just get one of these tasks and then just pass it to GPT. GPT, rather this agent. Before I do that, let me just check if some Podman thing or Docker is running. Okay, nothing is running. So, and let me create one more function that is just to check if our service is running. define home page, and this will say return welcome to task runner. Method is not allowed. Okay, let me check why method is not allowed. We are getting request, and we have a endpoint. Oh, it is get. It should get. So now gets the data. All right. Now we will go to this particular. We will try to send a post request to this endpoint. For that, I will open VS Code. HTTP localhost 8000. Then run. Task
By
is
the way,
equal to.
someone asked that you should show using Thunder Client as well. So this is where we are using Thunder Client. You can just see that it's pretty much the same process as Postman. Just install the extension for Thunder Client, and you can just start running the API requests. Okay.
Okay. So let's get this task and let's make a request. Is there anything that we need to parameterize? Contains a list of one or more per line, and then okay, that is okay. Let's send a request. Oh, method is not allowed. This is.
Sir, you have to make
It's
it post
post right that when get in Thunder Client.
in Thunder
Uh,
client.
in
In Thunder
You
Client, you
have
have to make
to.
it.
okay, thanks. Okay, so now in the response, what we have got is this particular Python code. So GPT have generated this Python code. Let us write it out to a file. So we have response in R, and then from that we need choices. From that we need a 0th index, and in 0th index we'll get this. So we need message, and from message we need content. Okay, let's get this. So it have Python code as one key, and then the other key is this Python dependencies. Oh, Docker file dependencies. Why does it get this? We'll check that later. So rather than returning this, I will use return this thing, and let's rerun the server. Okay, so now we have got a Python code, and then we have, what else do we have? Oh, Python dependencies. These are two different arrays. Maybe I can do keys to get the keys. Oh, internal server. A string object has no attribute keys. Okay, so since it's a string, we'll need to use JSON to convert it to a valid JSON object, or rather we can call it dictionary. JSON dot loads, and again internal server error. Okay, rather than converting it to keys, let's first do this. Yeah, so this gets the so it have Python code in Python code variable, and then it have Python dependencies, and each of these dependencies are the name of the module. So now what we want to do, we want to write this code out to a file. Let's do that. So we'll get the code. And with open LLM underscore code and write it out to a file, f.write, and how do I write it out? Just use the Python code. And let's send one request. It will create a file which will have the code, and this is the file that it have created. So let's have a look at the task. It will, so this particular file have list of the dates, one per line, and then count the number of Wednesdays in this list. So it gets the input file path, and then it gets the output file path, which is this thing, and then it initializes Wednesday count as 0. Then it opens this input file, and then it goes line by line, and then it removes all the white spaces that are there in the date, and then it will convert it to datetime object, and then it will just check if the weekday is equal to 2, which is for Wednesdays, and if that is correct, then it will increment 1 to it, and otherwise it will catch some exception in case if that date is not valid. I mean, its format is not valid. So now this is code that we have got from LLM, and we haven't used function calling anywhere. But for executing any script, we also need one more thing. That is on top of this, we need this inline script. So let's add that over here. So this is Python code, and I will also put inline meta data script. So this is going to be, let me just copy this thing from here to here. All right, and now actually these dependencies, they will be coming dynamically, right? So for that, we need to get these dependencies from here. Oh, okay. I have changed it, but there is a key, all right? which have Python dependencies. So we'll create one key, Python depend DENCIES is equal to. I will copy this piece of code and then I will just change the last bit. Right, and this should be a bit above, and now all these dependencies should be dynamically added over here. So for that we'll use this piece of code. So instead of this, it should be Python dependencies. And is there something? Okay, I need to make it f string so that it gets these things. Before we execute it, let's test it on a small example. Python 3 and dependencies. We have these as the dependency, and then we also need. So this is the code that we have, and okay, let's call it dependencies instead of Python dependencies. And now let me print it out. Okay. Oh, so I will import pprint and pprint dot pprint inline metadata script. So it have a script and then it have the version of Python, then it have dependencies, and these dependencies are coming correctly. Okay, so this will generate dependencies, then this will get the code. Let me first write out all the dependencies. Is there something? What is going on?
Metadata. You have to write inline metadata.
Metadata, right? Where? Oh, sorry. Correct. It should be inline metadata. Okay. Now let's check if it creates this file which have in those dependencies as well. I will send another request. And let's have a look at this script. So it have all these dependencies, then
Sir, sir,
hi.
sorry, screen is not moving. It is stuck.
Can anyone confirm if my screen is moving or not?
Yeah, Jivraj's screen is moving. There is no errors. Perhaps
Moving.
your internet is lagging. Right.
All right.
Yeah, Andrew, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to see whether you all will evaluate it, because this one, right? According to that faker module, the date times are different. Like, so it just on specific date time. So I just wanted to know whether it would, if this one wouldn't work. Like, if you put in the evaluate one, I just want to know that.
So you're asking that the format of those was different, something like that?
You're not audible clearly.
I'm saying that, are you asking that the format of those dates were?
Yeah. This won't accept the dates, right? In according to the
So
evaluate.
this will accept the dates. Actually, that we are parsing the date and it should accept.
Not really, because if you go look at the evaluate file, right, that faker, he'll give different different formats.
Yes, sir. If possible, please import that evaluate.py file and
Dates,
show
not
us the
text.
answer.
The left one, above email text, below credit card.
Yeah. I think that it won't be able to, because actually you have to use parser for this, and the parser will be able to fetch
Yeah,
those
that's
data
all.
out. Okay, what we can do is Devraj, you can try running this once. Uh, if we don't receive the expected response, then I will share you the code with the parser one. Okay, so you can just go ahead and run the script as you wish.
Hmm. Okay, sure. I think we'll need to prompt LLM a bit better so that it
Yeah, exactly.
generates parser, right?
Yeah, we have to tell it that we have dates in multiple formats, and you have taken into account that those formats won't be perhaps solved using date time module. So yeah.
So maybe as part of this prompt, all right.
Send some
Okay,
data.
feel.
Take the dates text only, and you can send the data from it only. It's allowed. Sir said you could do that.
So yeah, sending data to LLM is allowed, but then this
Uh,
file can be a
yeah,
very big file.
exactly.
No,
So
just
what
like
we can do is, Devraj, you can just specify that we have we have dates in multiple formats, and those formats are, you can just give few examples, DD, MMYY, sort of that, and then you have to ask it to produce a code which will be able to parse through all these date times and give the best results possible. So we have to specify this into the LLM. Hello,
Sir,
I'm audible?
sir, just
I'm
one
audible.
thing. Yes, sir, you are
Yeah,
audible.
yeah. Please ask your question.
Sir, just one thing. When in the code, sir, written the create a file and then make a Python code and copied it. So after creating the file and writing the code in it, we have to run it also for the project
Hmm. Hmm.
so that it can give answers. So that
Yeah,
it can provide answers also.
yeah, yeah. For
So
that, I guess Jivrat will be using subprocesses. Yeah, actually, I muted Jivraj.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I was saying, yes, we will be using subprocess module for
Yeah.
executing the code that is generated by GPT.
So subprocess is a module which will actually be, which can run data on your, which can run few uh, PowerShell commands on your behalf. So yeah, yeah, Andrew, please ask the question.
yes, sir.
I just have one more question because, like, during the evaluation, right? Once we produce the code, we can't check the output from the code like how you expect it, like to give a feedback loop. Like, I don't know if I'm clear enough. Like, if the not format is not accepted, right? There's no
Hmm.
way for us to know that it's wrong. We just submit it. But if we had like, okay, it should be like this, even during the evaluate, now it's not needed,
Okay.
then we can like dynamically put that, okay, it's this is wrong, then why is it wrong? Because you probably don't have different formats, right? But there's no way for us to access that or know about that. That's what I want to know.
So what you
During,
are saying is that you are
like,
expecting that when it returns that your answer is not correct.
we'll just give wrong, right? Because
Yeah.
after we because there's no feedback loop because it's API, right? Once we get it, it gives it back and then we're done. We don't interact, right?
Now what you can do is, by the way, it's giving you the expected response and the response that you have given to it. So is that not
Pardon?
enough?
Pardon?
I'm saying that it will give you the evaluator.py file. It will give you the expected response it's
Yeah,
expecting
but
you.
then that will be
Yeah.
marked wrong. No, it's not like in between where we can reprompt the LLM from saying the input. Once we get it, it's a one-time thing. After we prompt the LLM, we get the Python code, we execute it, and then you check it, like if it gives a date sorted or dates, Wednesday's text or whatever, and then the get API reads it again. There's no way for us to rewrite the code once, even if we get the wrong one right over here here it'll only get some dates right from the text, or it might throw an error also. If it depends on this thing, like if you use a try block or not, and then it'll just be the wrong number of dates in the dates Wednesday text, and then the get file will read that wrong dates text, evaluate it as wrong, and then move on. That's what I'm saying.
So you are saying that this file, which is going to be created using LLMs, you won't be able to debug it somehow.
Yeah. No, not debug it. it will be right. Like you can execute it and see whether it gives code 0, subprocess, that and all, no problem.
But you won't be able to understand what
Whether
went wrong.
the task, the task was right or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Andrew, so the solution to that would be like in this in this JSON schema that we have created to get what do we call it,
Primary problem.
a response format, right?
Yeah.
Before this, we can send one request. In that request, we can include 20 lines or first 25 lines,
Of
and
the
of the input file, and we send it to
oh
GPT, and then we ask it, please,
yeah. Got it.
please consider this and
Got it. Correct.
get
Got
the
it.
parser.
Correct. Yeah, because we have access to read it beforehand. Yeah,
Yes.
correct. Awesome. Nice. Thank you.
I'm wondering why it didn't get the dependency of date time. Is it inbuilt module?
Date time?
Yeah,
I
is it
guess it
inbuilt
is.
in Python?
Yeah,
Is it?
I guess it is.
Oh, I didn't know. So I think there is no need of dependencies then. All right. So this is the code that we have got. Now we need to execute this piece of code. And so now we'll use subprocess module. Import run. And we have got this Python code written out into this LLM code file. And now we need to open this file in the readable mode. No, we don't even need to open this file. We just need to execute it, right? So I will use run command and cmd. Is it cmd? Okay, first one is the command that we need to run. So we'll pass that command. So we need to run LLM code. So LLM underscore code dot py, and then we'll capture the output. By capturing the output means we'll capture what it actually generates, and then we'll get it in the text format, and then from where we want to execute it, we want to execute this command from current working directory. All right. So this is what we have. Okay. And this is output is equal to this thing. And let me just print the output. Okay, this is output. And let's also return, maybe it won't be able to return, so just print it out. So I think this would execute that code which have been generated. Okay, so let's do that. Oh shit, I didn't restart server. Okay, it could not find this file, right? That is because this particular file is in my local this directory, not as the root, right? So now I will just move to our Docker containers so that we can create a file in the root directory. I don't want to create this file in my root directory. That's why. Docker file, and then this is the code that we are having, and this will execute app.py. All right, and let me build this image. Before that, let's have a look at which all images are already present. Okay, so we already have one task runner, podman build -t, and let's call it task, or let's rather call it TDS project 1, and yeah, this should be from this file. Incorrect username, auth token. Okay, all right, maybe then I will do it from here. I'll bring this terminal to other screen to export API token. Crap. Okay, so podman is it build -t TDS project 1 and dot. So we have 8,000.
Sir, yeah, is it possible? Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
Sir, is it possible that every time we run the file and we give in a task to a file to an app, then it will create the same file with the rewrite code which the task wants, and then we can run the same file, or we have to create a separate file for each task?
Okay. I think better to create separate files. So I think the evaluate.py, it will be sending some asynchronous request.
Okay, sir.
So in that case, it is better to keep in separate file.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Did it create? Yes, it have. Podman images. Podman run TDS project on it. What is the command? Podman run -e AI proxy underscore token is equal to $AI proxy underscore PROXY. And port number mapping is 8000 to 8000, and then image ID. AI PROXY underscore TUKEN. Okay. So let's first test if this particular endpoint is working or not. And in terminal, yes, we are getting these requests here. So now I will send one request to this endpoint. But before that, we need to install data, right? So we don't have data at the moment inside our container.
It's there.
Sorry?
It's there. The data is there, sir.
Andrew, I could not understand.
Data is there. Data is there. The folder is there. Data folder.
No, it won't be there, right? Because I have just
Oh, it's in
copied
Docker.
this.
Okay, it's in Docker. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just this particular file. So actually, you see, if we won't be doing so right now, what I will be doing, I will be going inside that particular container, and then I will be installing data using that script. But that you should not do that, okay? Because this particular URL might change, and then email address that might also change. So right now, I will just be hard coding to save time, okay? Otherwise, I will have to add something to the prompt. Like right now GPT is not capable of running UV commands, okay? So we might need to say if you need to run any UV script, then use UV run and then name of script and then some arguments. So this maybe we have to specify. This is not a good prompt. I think it will fail. You can think of some good prompt, but right now I will just hard code it. Okay. Podman, all the containers. So this is the running container. We'll get in that container. Podman exec interactive terminal and then bash. All right. And now I need to execute UV run, and this is the script. Oh, and then my 223002542@ds.study.itm.ac.in. Okay, it have created data inside root folder. Yep. So now actually this is not restarting the server. So like earlier Sharansh had run it using UV con and then space app colon app. That would restart by itself. So this doesn't restart. So for that, what I have to do, I have to actually stop the server. So I mean, I have to shut down this container and then restart it. Oh, for some reason, I'm not able to interrupt. Oh, okay. So now I will stop this particular container. Okay, I think it's already been stopped. Yes. Yeah. Okay, then we can start it again. And this is container ID. Oh, podman ps-e and podman start container ID. Okay, this should have started it again. Let's check. Okay, it's running. And now we'll send the task. Okay. Sent. Okay. So podman logs 86. Let's have a look at logs. And it gets few things on a standard error. Completed the process and return code is we have got some error, and on a standard output we didn't get anything, and this is the error. Standard error downloading setup download set tools installed 4 packages, and then this is traceback error, line number 16, module Wednesday count, some 1 4 date in dates if date dot some error is there. And I think this is some issue with some formatting, does not match this particular format. All right. Podman. So one thing that we can do is like I just said, we can feed first 10 or 20 lines of 10, 20 or 25 lines of content of that particular file, or but that's not what I'm going to do now. I will be writing a self-correcting loop. So we have got some error here, and now I will be feeding this particular error to GPT back. Oh. So Andrew, you seems to be confused.
No. I got it. I thought
He was celebrating.
like this one will take kind of a little bit longer to run, no? Because once we get the call, if you do it in feedback loop, maximum we can do once or twice, and then after that it's gone. Like we'll be timed out. So I thought maybe you'll read the data and then send it directly.
Yeah, see, if we read the data, I mean, I'm sure it will generate accurate code.
Yeah, that's the trick, I think.
But I think that I will do in the what do you call it? Recent request.
Okay. I remember.
Or we can even include like when we get the task, we send the task to LLM and we ask which are the input files, and then we get the name of that input file, and then we read it, and then we feed the data of that file to GPT.
Yeah, that's how I thought it would.
Yes. But like right now I'm thinking to create a self-writing, so that if there is some error, then I mean we could do it. Oh, okay. Let me write the code that
Jivraj,
yes, called.
We'll do one thing. We'll put on one more session for tomorrow, and then we can show the self-correcting code as well as showing how you can get the prompt to work correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that next session because it's already 10 now. We don't want the session to run long, right?
So can we get this Python file after the session?
Sorry, the what?
Can we just stay for maybe 10-15 minutes?
So can we get this Python file after the session?
No, we won't give the code, but we can still run the session for a bit longer if you want, so that he finishes the error correcting loop if you want to see that.
Yeah, okay.
But
so error correcting loop will take some time to debug and decode. If you just directly read the data before you officially read it, you just send the code every alternate line or some other type of stochastic this thing where you read it and then send it. It will be able to, with some probability, get the right prompt. At least that's what I read. I mean, but I'm not sure. It'll probably work that.
Yeah, there are two aspects to it. One is give it a sample of the input. The second aspect is better prompt. So if you write a robust prompt, that also works. So both those techniques work, and you can use them in combination to get nearly bulletproof code. So both aspects work. And the error correcting is useful because you don't want your code to instantly fail. So at least the ability to once in a while correct is also very, very useful. The advantage of having very strong prompts and providing some sample data is that you're very rarely going to ever have your code fail. But in the event it fails, it's good to know how to write the self-correcting prompt. That's what we are trying to get to, so that to show you these things, these three techniques basically. And then you don't have to ever write any function calls. You just feed the task and it literally does everything for you without writing 20 different function calls. Okay, Jivraj, I'll let you take a call on this. You can decide if you want to just continue for a little bit more. I think some students are very keen, so.
Okay. Okay, if we do to okay, like I'm thinking, should we do this, feed these upper some 20-25 lines and then we show that, but then that will take time, so maybe we can do it tomorrow.
Final date of project is 15th, right?
Yeah.
If you do tomorrow, then uploading the video will be released on 15th only, right? How will we try to do?
Okay, then we'll do it right now. All right, we'll do it right now. So just to clean some things from here, I will just put this piece of code. Oh, okay. Let's first have a look at the output. So in output, we have got this return code, and then we have standard output, and then we have standard error, right? So we can fetch these three things in different variables. Oh. So this is output, and then dot. It is standard error. This will have error. Let's call it error. So this will have standard error, and let's have what all we can get other than this standard output. Let's store it in some other variable. Maybe it is useful to store it. Let's call it a standard output, std out, and output dot, and we'll also call this as standard error. Now we have these two things. Let's get this return code as well. What should I call it? Exit code. Do we call it exit code, right? So I think whenever we execute something from terminal, generally I think we call it exit code. If I'm not wrong. And other than that, is there something useful from here? Standard error, and standard error. Okay. So if we look at this standard error, it shows some downloading steps, right? Here.
So you have to search for traceback, and then you can do it from there.
Yes. So that's what I will do now. So maybe we can use this file variable like this. Whenever it starts from file, that's where the actual error is, right? So this is not the actual error. It is just some downloading stuff. And then this is the actual error that is there. Okay. So from now I will loop range. We can actually in range. So this is standard error. I can split it using \n. So in every line it will have \n. So let's do that. Dot split and use \n over here. Okay. And for I in range, len of standard error. So if there is some error, then if standard error of I dot, let's do some stripping, and if it starts with file, the word file, that's where the actual error is. Then we'll raise some exception.
So I think standard error is a string by itself, no? So and then if you extract each character, I think that will be character wise, no? I think I'm not sure.
Actually, I have splitted it using \n.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's put it inside a try catch block now. Maybe this whole thing I will put it inside try catch, so that we can raise some exception because of that error. Standard error. All right. Of maybe I till end. So the actual error is from this particular thing, right? So this is the error, and now we need to catch this error. So exception as E, and let's print this E. Stringography. So I will first try to execute this code, and then if some error comes, it will come here, and then it will print that error to our console. Okay.
So you can use logging if you want, it'll be easier.
Actually, I'm not familiar with the
just import logging.info in a string, just enter that. You can add it in the script line dependency. Oh no, you can directly import from here. Just logging and then logging.info in string. That's it. I think that's it.
Over here, right?
Yeah, wherever you're printing. So yeah, logging.info. And you can just put E. Yeah.
Okay. So it will log it to console, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I think so. I'm not sure. I think.
Okay. We'll check. Who was that? Andrew, right?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. Thanks. But actually, either now I can either rebuild the image, or else I can copy this code from here, and then I can stick it inside the inside this container. So I will just copy this code from here, or maybe it will. I think okay. Maybe I will copy this whole code, and let's get inside the container. Oh, let's get in the container app.py. Oh, vi is vim. I will use vim editor to edit files now. Okay, escape, insert, Control-Shift-V, and then podman ps. Okay, this process is running. I need to stop it. Before that, let's check which all processes are running. Okay, I need to stop this process. And now I need to restart because I have changed the code. And now let's make a request. Send. Great. Did this request complete? Okay, it have completed. And in info, we have got 200. Okay. Oh, that means there was no standard error and there was no standard output as well. And return code was 0, and we were able to successfully execute this file. Okay. And now let's get back to, okay. Bash. And let's have a look at which all files are there. Let's have a look at the content of this particular file. Okay, it must have created a file, and let us have, oh, what did I do? Some garbage. Let me get content. Oh, I think I didn't copy that line of piece. Cat llm code dot py. So I need to get the path of this file, and I need to get this. So it gets its answer as 32. Okay, but I'm sure this answer is not correct. That is because of format parsing. So it might be considering few of them, but it is not exact correct answer, right? So if there is some error, then it will just send that error to standard error stream, right? But at the moment there was no error, so while executing this task there was no error. All right, so if there is some error, then what we can do, okay, there is so much code, so I will move it to some function. Maybe from here I will move. Let's get this a bit up, and let's move this code to, let's create some other function. Define LLM code executor, and this have this particular piece of code in line with the script. So we need to pass Python dependencies. Let me copy this variable from here. And we also need Python code. And now we can call this function from here. Okay. So I was talking about some error correcting loop. And let's also get the task. Okay, no. Now I will create another function, define resend request. So this will have task, and then this will also have code, and then error. So generally what we used to do, whenever we prompt GPT, we'll ask it to do some task, and then it will generate some code. We will execute that code, and then if we get some error, in that case, we'll actually feed that error back to GPT with the same task and then with the same code. Okay. And so how do we do request? So something. Yeah, Andrew. Andrew, you want to ask something?
I think because the logging info, right? Supposed to error or raise exception. I'm not sure exactly, but maybe because of that only we couldn't get the error. Yeah, that one.
Oh, no. That is because, see, I have also printed the output of the process. In that
Oh.
output also it says written code is 0 and then nothing
Yeah,
on
that try catch, that info, I don't think it's raising. I think, I'm not sure exactly, maybe something like that. But yeah, but you can continue, sir. I just wanted.
Okay. Maybe I can store it in some variable then. Actually, see, I don't even want to log it. We can keep a logging info over here. But along with logging, I also want to feed it back to LLM, right? So that's why we'll store it in one variable as well. So while sending the request back, our prompt needs to be adjusted. So okay, our task needs to be adjusted. So we'll call it updated underscore task, and this should have three things. One is the task. So I will say update the Python code, and I will mention the code. And for this for below task, and we'll feed task back. And this error encountered UNT while running task. All right, so this is prompt for resending the request. It have code, it have task, and then it also have error. All right. And after getting response back, we again want to get the Python dependencies. No, okay. So this is how we are sending the request again, right? All right. So from this LLM code executor, maybe if it successfully able to get us the code, then maybe I will say return successes, and otherwise return error. All right. And let's call it this thing. So whatever we get from the output back from, let's store it in output after execution. Oh, okay, we can just call it output, doesn't matter. So now if if it was a successful thing, then we'll just return return successfully task completed. And let us say it was an error, elif output of error yeah, in that case, if we get an error, what we want to do, we want to feed it back to GPT, right? So now we'll use this recent request function. So now we need code, and error is already here. So error I will copy paste from here, and this code, this I can read it from this file. All right. So with open, and we want to open llm underscore code dot py, and in readable mode as f code is equal to f dot read. So okay, this will resend the request, and then it will get some other code, and after we get the code, we'll call it response. So now I want to re-execute the function, this function, and we want these things back from the response. And let's store this response over here. Response we already have. We want this thing in JSON. Okay. All right. So this will send one request, but so we might want to send multiple requests to correct the code. So we'll create a while loop in that case, and let's call it number of executions. So how many times you want to execute if it is not generating the correct code. Let us say 2 times maybe. If okay, no, let's start it from 0. Okay, basically what I am showing is we can put this recent request inside a while loop so that it corrects multiple times. So, okay, and before that, let's first let's store it in output. All right, I tried rewriting the endpoint, but okay. So the thing is, if it is successful, then it just returns something, and let's say if it is not successful, we can even put it inside a infinite while loop, like keep running until GPT doesn't give a correct answer. This will keep sending requests again and again, again and again. but never do this. Run it 2 or 3 times. Okay, maybe something like this. We can set a limit. And then limit, we can always increase it by 1. And this way it won't send more than 2 times. So this is self-correcting loop. It will execute the code generated by LLM and then it will resend the request. And what Andrew was mentioning about, we can even feed the content of these 15-20 lines, and then we can actually ask LLM to while we are sending the first request, instead of actually asking directly for the code, what we can ask for, we can ask for the input file that is part of the input file that we need to read, and then we can get the content of that file, and then we can feed it to GPT
System
for the
prompt.
first few
Yes.
lines. Yeah, for the prompt purpose. So I
System.
think it will generate a better code.
Yes, with system prompt, you can say you will be given a file like this, system prompt, and then give off the data, and then it will give it back. I think.
All right. So yeah, this is for today's session, and all right. And the other thing that I want to mention is that, so if we go to this, where is this? Week 3 module. So over here, there is some instructions about how you can write really good prompts. So if your prompt is very good, then the code that LLM will generate will be of very high quality. So like we have a script that just have 160 lines of code, and it doesn't use any function calling. It doesn't even have this self-writing loop, but it is very accurate. It gets very good result, and that is alone because of this nice prompts that we are using.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Andrew.
Can we just go through like a revision of just from starting to top, because you have to remember it. I mean like, because like the code, I just need to like not memorize it, but like to get it, because I don't think y'all are releasing the videos for another 1 or 2 days, 1 day maybe. So we can just go through and like a revision just from top to bottom. Just explain it off fast.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Andrew, the video will release tomorrow morning anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like want to be, I'll probably start now again. This new method seems very promising, so I'll just like to get it done.
Okay.
Moreover, within 2 to 3 hours, this video will be processed and it will be available on your calendars as well. So if you just go to your calendar and you will be able to see this video over
Oh,
there.
in the link itself.
Yeah, in the link itself, just click over there and you will be able to, it will give you the transcript of that. Yeah,
Yes.
just
Yes,
showing you that.
I just want to go through it now, because I'll
Yes,
take
sir, exactly. It's very confusing right now. We are too much confused. So,
just one small recap, sir.
exactly, yes.
That's just one recap, sir. Yeah, sorry.
Sure. I mean, I'm just showing what Sharash
Yeah.
mentioned. So this is how you can access it. Okay. I mean, it will be accessible just 2 or 3 hours after the session ends. Anyway, like what we have done, we have actually created one. Uh, so this is our prompt, which definitely is not a good prompt. We can have a much better prompt than this particular prompt. So if you go to this particular week 3 module, then it tells how to create a good prompt. So like over here, clear, direct, and detailed. So it also depends on the grammar that you use, and basically you need to provide some examples as well. So like given this script, it is satisfied, think step by step. So directly instruct the model to break down reasoning into steps. Yeah, so this is how you can construct one good prompt. Like you put some instruction and then you give it some example, and yeah, and this is very good way of giving examples in these specific blocks. Okay, and then you can even use markdown to make your prompt good, and then use JSON. So actually, if you write efficient prompt, so this particular prompt is not too good. Okay, this is very bad prompt, I can say for sure. And yeah, so here we have one example of a good prompt. So which you can go through as a content reviewer for a high school level courses on tools in data science. Your job is to evaluate provided content such as text, chord snippet, or references with a focus correctness. So this is what the prompt is. Then correct for correctness. So it have these bold things, and then it also mentions in every particular step what is required, right? So this is how you can create a quality content. So I will suggest to go through these three sections of week 3 module. Okay, and you can create very good prompt. And so we actually have one script which have just 160 lines of code, which doesn't have any function calling, and it doesn't even have this self-writing loop, but still it gets very good result, and that is just because of prompts. Okay, so that's why I'm emphasizing on writing efficient prompts. Okay.
So basically, that script which Yuvraj is talking about, that 160 lines of code script. So that script is capable of solving that entire project one in one go. Okay. So it's able to solve the all those 10 questions of uh, phase A and the 10 questions of phase B as well, which are so phase B is a lot of so it contains a lot of ambiguity and still it's able to solve those questions. So that's the power of prompt engineering at display. Okay. So yeah, just just go through the content which was provided in the large language models section and learn about prompt engineering. So that's the best thing you can do.
So yeah, so I will re-emphasize, using just better prompt, you can do it very easily, and using good prompts, these tasks can also be done. So function calling won't help to do these tasks, right? Any arbitrary task, it won't help to do any arbitrary task. So coming back over here, so we have this as the primary prompt, which mentions you are an agent and these things, and these are the things that are pre-installed, and then we would be running it inside a Docker container. And over here, uh, so this is the endpoint which gets the task, and then it sends a API call to LLM, and then in response it gets Python dependencies and then Python code, and then we have a code LLM code executor, which actually collects these Python dependencies and then creates inline metadata script and the Python code that we have, and then we'll stick it inside this particular file. And after sticking it inside this file, we are actually running it using a subprocess module in Python. Okay, and then we are capturing output, and that is in text format. So output have multiple different things. So we are interested in using a standard error, and then there is nothing that comes on a standard output. I thought it might be useful, that's why I have just stored it. And then exit code is, it tells about if there was some error while executing the code. So you can even use this thing while raising this exception. We can just use, I think, exit code. It might work. I haven't tried, that's why I haven't used. I have tried this way. Okay, and then if there was no error, then we are just returning that okay, so code was successfully able to execute. So it was able to execute the code. There was no error while executing the code. And if there is some error, then we are raising that exception. Okay, and after raising the exception, we are capturing it um, over here in output. And then if output is successful, then we are just sending task completed successfully. And if that output had some error, okay, if it is not equal to null, I think I should put not equal to null, maybe something like this. Then it will open this piece of code, and then it will also send the task, and then so it will send it to resend request. So this basically to resend the code that was generated by LLM along with the task and along with the error that we encountered while running the task. All right, and then we are executing this resend request 2 times. So basically it will send one request, and then if there was some error, then it will send two more requests. If still there is some error, then it will get out of this while loop. Okay, so that is the recap. But yeah, this is very weak prompt. If you give detailed prompt, it will be able to solve all of those tasks. All right, so yeah, now you guys can ask doubts.
So will there be a session tomorrow also, sir?
Okay.
No, I mean, not like if it's feasible. I mean, because this only was a long time. That's it.
We can have a session, but
Just fine tuning a little bit, maybe because this is a totally new paradigm. So I thought maybe if I have doubts, I could ask. Discourse, if I post also takes, no one replies in discourse very fast, so that's why.
so Andrew, do you want to ask something? Like, do you have some doubt to discuss? Like, I don't have anything to discuss other than this, um, what we
Okay,
have discussed today.
okay, no problem. Thank you, sir.
Actually, the thing is that whatever we planned for project one sessions has been completed. So, yeah, so I don't think that we need another session for discussing more. If you guys have questions, you can ask them right now. Otherwise, you can, ask on Discourse as well. That's an always an open platform for you guys to ask questions. So, yeah, for sure, Sakshi, ask the question.
Actually, I've asked question in the starting of the session as well that I've mailed the query to Jivraj sir. Sir, you have provided that I should write messages instead of message. I tried that also, but it's still on the post request. It is giving me the same error which I've showed you in the mail.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, here is the code, sir, which you have discussed in the. I've just write the exact code because I want to try because sir, I've always get some problem in these app kind of questions as well in graded
Mhm.
assignment. That's why I want to try first that code is still running and post request is functioning in my system or not. That's why
Mhm.
I'm doing. So I've
Can you
exactly. Yes.
demonstrate what error you are facing? Actually,
Yes,
Yavraj
sir. Actually,
needs to
I'm
mute
facing
himself for a while.
this error. Sir also facing that error in the session, but sir modified something and the error was gone and it is giving
What's
some
the okay?
prompt.
So it's invalid schema for function script runner. Okay, not is not of object boolean. Okay, type invalid request. And okay, so this is it's returning. So this is a problem in the function call. Can you just show me once
Yes, sir.
the function? Okay, scroll down.
Yes.
Where is your function to run this?
Sorry, sir.
Uh, can you scroll back up?
Yes, sir.
Uh, where is your function to run this specific tool?
Sir, actually, sir, in the
Uh,
last dash,
Can you scroll up
The
once? Just take me to the tool we are using.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just scroll down
Yes, sir.
slowly. Stop. This script runner, where is this function? Yeah.
Okay, sir. The function I've named is task runner. That's why it's
Okay.
giving me error, sir.
Perhaps that's the mistake you are doing. Just try changing it once, and
Yes, sir.
let's hope it works.
Sir, it's still giving me the
Run it
same
once
error.
again. Once again. Okay. Invalid schema for function. Head back to your functions. So apparently it looks like you have some error in the schema that you're using. The we are structuring your tool. Scroll down slowly. I have arguments. Okay. And so you have script URL and you have arguments. Okay. And it's a type of array. Items type. Okay. List of arguments to pass with scripts. All right.
Um,
And please show me your code for this
uh,
function.
uh,
DJ Raj, you were trying to say something.
yeah. So see items. So can you scroll back a little up?
Yes,
So,
sir.
so this items actually
Mhm.
it defines. So if it's an array, right? Within this array, you can have individual objects. Okay. Uh, so this items is that individual item. So if you have an array, and then in that array you have some item, then it will. Um, so you have an array, right? This item at zero index. Then this is item at this first index. And its type is string. That makes sense. Okay. I think that is correct. Hmm.
Can you scroll to the function once?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the task runner function. Yeah, just stop over here. Okay, so it's taking the run and then the task. Uh, okay, so what you are doing is that you are the function which is responsible to parse your query,
Yes, sir.
the function which is responsible for passing your query and selecting the best function to run, the best tool to use. So you are passing those parameters in this function. You have to create another function for that specific task.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I have to create another function with another name.
Yeah. Because if you remember that I had one question named query GPT, and that question that uh, function was responsible for taking your entire query, which you have passed on to your uh, in your endpoint, and then it just parsed that entire text and selected the best parameter, the best function to use.
Sir, but when the in the session when sir run it, it was working. I have actually take the code from that only. So I did it. I don't think so. He has written another function for that.
What
That's
do you say,
why.
Neeraj?
I would have written another function, but I think this error that you're getting. All right. So this is from GPT. Okay. So basically, I think this is some problem with the JSON schema.
Okay, sir.
Um, can you scroll a bit up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think this is problem somewhere over here. And can you show the error in Postman?
Yes, sir.
So this is error from GPT because it contains monthly host and then monthly requests. And this is the error: invalid schema for function task runner script URL arguments is not of type object comma boolean. Okay, and can you go back there? So argument should be boolean.
Yuvraj,
Yeah,
Yuvraj,
I'm not able to spot the error, but error is within this schema. Yeah,
so
sure.
yeah, so what I was saying is that can you scroll down such ones? So the endpoint, the slash endpoint, which is responsible for taking her queries, she's passing that as a tool.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, that is another mistake. I mean, so that happens when you are actually calling that function, but
Uh-huh.
but we are not calling the function. So tools is tools, right?
It should be
But
a list, sir, I think.
uh can you scroll a bit up? Sharon, that is not the problem. Like task runner, we are actually not running that function. Okay, we are just calling it. So this is a function that is available in the Python script, but we haven't executed that function. So that is not a problem. Maybe can you try
Additional properties,
changing
additional properties also false should be there, and some few other stuff. I think.
additional properties and these things? Is it?
I think I'm not sure. It's very verbose like this JSON schema. Like you can just copy this and just go to JSON schema validator or something online and check if it first validates it, and then
Yes.
but then you have to tell her to do it. So that will be a little bit.
Um, so arguments is this thing and then properties is this thing. Okay, one thing you can do, like just change this items, remove this type as a string. Boolean, why it is expecting a boolean, I don't know. Okay, make it object, and now put a comma and enter, and create a key args. Create one key args.
ARGS.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and put it inside quotes. And yeah, it should be a dictionary kind of object. Yeah, put and now type. Yes, just press tab. Okay, now try to execute it.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is showing error in script URL arguments is not type of object.
Um, there is some problem with the JSON schema. Okay, can you copy this schema? Just copy from line number 24 till 51. And okay, copy it and
Yes.
open one ChatGPT window. And over here, paste it. And now get the error from Postman. And stick it below it. Tools of zero, invalid parameter. Okay. Yeah, send it. It seems like there was an issue with the schema for the function you're trying to with the structure of the arguments based on the error. It looks like the argument list should be defined as an array of object, but the definition seems to be incorrect. Here is the corrected version. Okay, can you scroll down and keep scrolling? Yeah, keep scrolling. Okay. Arguments is now corrected. Defining an argument or the mode since it was not valid in the. Okay, just copy this code and stick it in place of your JSON schema. Can you go back there? Okay, scroll a bit up. I think it is tool underscore choice or something. Just scroll a bit down. I think it is tool and underscore choice instead of tools underscore choice. It should be tool. Yeah. And
Oh, it's just tools. Tools is tools, and then required. Yeah.
okay. And tools underscore choice, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Tool choice. Tool choice.
I think in the first terminal you are running one application. So over here you have two terminals, right? Yeah, just stop it and run it again.
Sir, now it's working. Yes, sir, now it's working. Thank you, sir. Should I stop
Yes,
presenting,
sure,
sir?
sure, sure. All right. I don't know.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask that here Jivra sir was using his internal storage for taking up the file and writing a script in internal storage itself. So I am not aware that how should I write my code so that when you guys check it, it will work. Like I am also doing it right now in my internal storage. So what do I replace in that in place of that?
Yeah. So just install it in Docker, okay, and don't hard code it. So just either use function calling or you make your prompt robust, okay, and that way you can get the installation code from GPT. So just do it in Docker, okay.
Okay, sir. And what about those files which the LLM is going to use? Like, so we have to edit those manually, or like our code will be like that only? Do we
Uh,
have to mention those piece of text files or images in the code itself, or how that thing I am unable to do?
like you're talking about the code that is generated by our script, like LLM code.py, right?
Yes, sir, that also, and the things which LLM needs to do, like dates is there, and some images is there now in data folder which
Yeah.
has generated. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so what do we need to do with that? Do we have to write a script for changing those only, or will it be a script for generalizing all the other things?
So in task B, so if there are 10 tasks in B section, right? So those tasks you don't have some a description about them, right? So it should be generic enough to pass those tasks. So use combination of function calling and then self-writing code. And I would prefer to have a good prompt that requires less code, but having a good prompt will help a lot. Yes, Maheshwar.
Yeah, one basic query related to dependencies. Okay, whatever you added at the beginning of the file with using script. Okay, so I tried with that, and whenever I running image, once I create an image, then it tells me that module not found. Whatever dependencies I added with using script.
Okay, are you using UV?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Can you share your screen?
Sure. Able to see my screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so these are the dependencies I added, and Docker file I added command uv run the application name.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Created image. Okay.
Okay.
And when I'm running with admin command, this is the I'm getting this model not found.
Okay. Can you show app.py or whatever the name of your file?
Okay.
It is task API. Fast API is there. DEP and TNCIES requires Python, and then fast API is the can you show your Docker file?
Sure.
And it is setting up the permissions, then you're copying that file to there, and then you're just running it. And okay, one thing I want to ask you: are you able to execute this particular a task API.py in your local system?
Yeah, I was able to run it earlier because this particular script related I have added earlier, afterwards. Before that, I used pip to install fast API and request libraries. So I was able to run on my local.
Can you show that?
Using requirement.txt we can do
Using?
requirements, like copy requirements and then run pip install requirements.
Yes, that is also possible. But why this
Uh,
UV is not run?
so,
Yes,
so you can just go to your Docker image first, go inside the root interactive shell and go inside bin bash, and then try UV run the script there first. You try to do it from there first. Are you in the Docker image?
You are saying that exe
IT hyphen IT, then that image, this thing like whatever that. No, that yeah. That's yeah.
Oh, that is image ID. We need container ID.
Oh, that's oh yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Just do podman ps. That will show container IDs.
No, I can't see.
Oh, that means you don't have container running right now. Okay, do
Yeah,
podman
it's
ps
failing at
hyphen
the
a.
run itself, right? Whenever I'm trying to run that, it's failing with this one.
Okay.
The image was created 4 hours ago. Do we need to create it again after the code change? Because there's a code change that has happened.
Yes, that you have to do.
No, this particular code change I did at that time only. Means when
4 hours back.
yeah, 4 hours back only, not
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
Okay, can you do one thing?
Mhm.
Go to there and do podman ps hyphen a. And okay, now you have these things. All right, now you do podman start and 1F4.
This one.
Yeah, this one. Okay, now do podman ps. Okay, this container is not again running. You are trying to run container, it's not running.
Just try rebuilding the container once with the new image.
Okay, you are saying that create a image.
Yeah, just rebuild it. It only takes a minute, right? Rebuild the container.
Okay.
The image name is 79.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think. Okay.
Try running the application in your VS Code itself. I mean, as in on your regular terminal. Okay, there is one difference. This terminal is actually in your C drive. The other one is in your WSL, I think, right?
Yes.
This is the difference. This application is not the same application in both places.
What does that
But
mean?
yeah, I am mounted, right? So it is the same project.
Is it?
Yeah. If
Okay.
I
Just check, make sure.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
It doesn't look like the same file.
Same file only.
Yeah, same file.
Oh, what were those special characters?
Which one?
Is it problem of special characters?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
controller.
I can see some special
Controller.
characters in.
Okay.
Might be this Unicode versus what is it called? ANSI some 1251 or something, right?
Maybe because of the ID that he's using, right?
Which ID is he using?
I
Python
think
Charmer.
Yeah.
PC Python Charmer, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there are unusual characters in your
Okay, I will try then once
file.
without. Yeah.
It shows
Dictating.
UTF-8.
That might be part of the reason. That
It's UTF-8 carriage return. It's down in the taskbar. We can see.
Okay, I will try by creating a file which will not have special characters and try to run it again.
you can also build the image. So rather than from WSL, you could also build the image in Windows itself. Right?
Yeah.
You could try
Okay.
that and see if it makes a difference. I'm not sure. It's a very unusual problem. You can do one
Okay.
thing. You can also send the file to Jivraj,
Okay.
and we will we will try and build the image here and see what happens.
Sure.
Because that's very unusual. Because your file runs obviously, so why is it not building anything?
Sure. I will try once, and if it did not work, I will send it to Jivraj.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes, Dalvin.
Yeah, I am facing one issue in prompting. So whenever I try to generate any Python code, I am not able to direct the Python to have the absolute path construction. Like it's directly taking whatever it's being given, like /data/ the file name.
Okay. Where are you
But
trying to do?
like I am trying to run in local as well as like container. So
Okay. Like if you are running it inside container, then don't try to change it. Okay. Just keep it data folder. So why I'm saying it is because in the prompt it will say this is input file. So either you will have to if you use function calling approach, then actually you can edit the file path. But if LLM is generating code, then you won't be able to edit the file path, or else you will have to explicitly tell LLM that I have this data folder inside this particular path. Okay, this is what you have to tell to LLM. So and then it might even do mistakes, so better to keep it in the data folder itself. Okay, so don't try to change it in Docker. And regarding local machine,
then how to
maybe
run then?
you can
Then
share
how
your
to run
screen.
that file?
So just make your prompt a little better, it will work. Okay, I have tried this question.
Yeah, because I am facing that issue. Can you, like you told in the beginning of session, but I could not understand that one. Some prompt.
Okay, can you share your screen?
My laptop will hang. Yeah, I can share. I will try to join. 1 minute.
UV and so Telvin, I have pasted the command in the comment section as well.
Okay.
So you can change the email address there and then directory where you want to get the data. Okay.
No, this is working. I'm asking in the main thing. Main prompting, we have to generate one script, right, for running the task.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let me share the screen.
Telvin.
Yeah.
See, I won't be. Your voice is echoing back to me. Okay. So I won't be able to exactly help with A1 because I think you will be able to do it by some changes in prompt, or you can use function calling approach. So that is part of even. So I won't be able to help with that. Okay. Does anyone else have any doubt, or else we'll end the session?
I am able to do the event task correctly. The issue I'm facing is that are you able to hear me?